There's a specific kind of quiet that only money can buy, and almost nobody who has it can describe it to anybody who doesn't. It's a Wednesday. Your car makes a sound on the highway. That sound, the expensive one, and you don't feel anything. No cold drop in your stomach, no math. You just take the next exit and think, I'll deal with it. 10 years ago, that exact sound would have ended your week. That's the whole thing, really. Not yachts, not a gold watch. The ability to hear the bad sound and stay calm. People think saving money is about the day you get rich. It isn't. It's about the day the bad news stops being able to hurt you. But you didn't start here. You started at a number so small, it isn't really a number at all. So let's climb it, one floor at a time, from the bottom, from the version of you that flinched at everything. $0. Zero doesn't mean you have no money. It means the money and the bills finish in a photo finish every single month. And some months, the bills lean across the line first. Your account is a tide. It comes in on payday, and it's gone by the 15th. And you have trained yourself not to look at it in the days between. At zero, everything is an emergency waiting for a date. The tire, the tooth, the text from your landlord. You're not bad with money. That's the lie people tell you. You're just running a machine with no slack in it. And a machine with no slack breaks the first time anything unexpected touches it. And here's the trap nobody warns you about. Being broke is expensive. The overdraft fee, the late fee, the tire you buy twice because you could only afford the cheap one first. Poverty has a subscription cost, and it bills you for the crime of not having money by taking more of it. The night it turns is not dramatic. You're eating cereal for dinner again. Not sad about it, just doing it. And you do a small piece of math you've been avoiding. If one thing goes wrong right now, you have no answer. Not a small answer. No answer. And for some reason, tonight, that finally scares you more than it bores you. So you decide something almost pathetically small. Not to get rich, not to change your life, just this. You're going to get $1,000 into an account and not touch it. $1,000 that exists only to say no to the next emergency. It sounds like nothing. It is the hardest floor in the entire building. $1,000. The first $100 feels like a punishment. It should be gas. It should be a dinner out. It should be the shoes. And instead, it goes into an account you promised yourself is invisible. You are, for the first time, paying a bill that has your own name on the other end. You find money in the strangest places once you're actually looking. The subscription you forgot, the thing you bought because you were tired, the $30 that used to evaporate every weekend and never once made you happier. Saving doesn't start with more income. It starts with finally seeing where it already leaks. Then a small miracle that isn't a miracle. The emergency comes, because it always comes. And this time, you have the answer. The tire blows, you pay for the tire. And nothing else happens. No spiral, no borrowing, no sick feeling for 2 weeks. You just handle it. Like the people you always assumed were born different. That's the moment the whole thing gets its hooks in you. Because now you know the feeling. You've tasted one single afternoon of not being afraid. And it turns out that feeling is worth more than anything the $1,000 could have bought. You refill the account within a month. You didn't even have to make yourself do it. Your mother notices before you say anything. You visit, and she says you seem lighter. And she can't say why, and you can't either. Not yet. It's not the money. $1,000 changes nothing about a life. It's that some low background sound you'd heard your whole life just got a little quieter. $10,000. 10,000 is a different animal. 1,000 handles a bad day. 10,000 handles a bad season. Lose the job, and you don't lose the apartment in the same breath. For the first time, you own something the rich have always owned and never named. Time. A few months of it, bought and paid for, sitting in an account. The habit has quietly flipped. In the beginning, you had to force every transfer, teeth gritted. Now, not saving feels wrong, the way skipping a shower feels wrong. You built a groove, and the money runs down it on its own. This is the part no one tells you. Discipline isn't forever. It's just until it becomes the easier option. Your friend, the fun one, the one who always has the new phone and the better weekend, starts to look slightly different to you. Not worse, just clearer. You start to notice that his life and your life cost about the same. The difference is you can see the bottom of yours, and he has never once looked at the bottom of his. He asks why you don't come out as much. It's a fair question, and you don't have a cool answer. The truth is boring. Every $40 you don't spend on a night you won't remember is a small brick in a wall between you and the version of your life where everything goes wrong. You can't say that at a bar, so you just say you're tired. But you're not a monk about it, and that matters. You go on the trip. You buy the good coffee. The people who turn saving into self-punishment quit within a year, every time. The ones who last treat it like a plant. Feed it steadily. Don't dig it up every week to check the roots. Somewhere in here, the number stops being a wall you're building and starts being a floor you're standing on. You stop checking it out of fear. You start checking it the way you'd glance at something that's simply quietly yours. $10,000. The bad news can still come. It just can't reach you as fast anymore. $50,000. 50,000 is where the money stops being a safety net and starts being a lever. This is walking away money. The bad boss, the dead-end job, the thing you've been swallowing for 2 years because you couldn't afford the silence after you said no, you can afford it now. You may never use it, but you carry it, and people can feel it on you. And something strange happens to how people treat you. You negotiate a little harder because for the first time you can actually afford to lose the deal. You ask for the raise like you mean it because your rent isn't hostage to the answer. Money doesn't just buy things. Held quietly, it changes the way you stand in a room. This is also the floor where the money starts working while you sleep. Not much at first, a little interest, a little return, numbers you didn't earn with hours. It's a small amount, and it changes everything in your head. You have just met, for the first time, a dollar that makes more dollars. You will never see money the same way again. Your fun friend hits a rough patch around now. A layoff, a car, something. And for a second, the whole world tips. And you watch him have the exact panic you used to have. The frantic phone math, the borrowing. And you realize the gap between you was never income. It was that you got scared early, and he never did. You help him a little, quietly. No lecture. Nobody has ever saved money because a friend made them feel stupid. But it lands on you, hard. How close you came to being exactly where he is. Same town, same wage. One boring decision made a few years ago on a night you ate cereal and got scared enough to act. $250,000. $250,000 is the floor where the math changes hands. Up until now, you were the engine. Every dollar in the account got there because you carried it in. Somewhere around here, the money starts pulling its own weight. The growth in a good year begins to rival what you can save in a good year. The machine, finally, is helping you push. And here comes the test nobody warns you about. It's not poverty anymore. It's the opposite. Now that you have it, everything in the world is engineered to get it back off you. The nicer car that you can technically afford, the bigger place, the watch. Lifestyle rises to eat income like water finding a level, and most people drown in the exact pool they spent a decade filling. The people who make it through this floor all learn the same quiet trick. When the income goes up, the life stays mostly the same, and the gap goes into the account. You still drive the reasonable car. You still make the coffee at home most days. Not out of fear now. You're long past fear. Out of something closer to respect for how hard the early dollars were to earn. Your mother won't take the money you try to give her. She never does. But you catch up her roof, her car, the small things, without asking. And when something in her house breaks now, it's just a Tuesday. You'd forgotten that a broken thing was ever anything but a Tuesday. She watches you not panic, and you can tell it heals something old in her. The strangest part of this floor is how boring it looks from outside. No one throws you a party for having $250,000. You look identical to the guy at zero. Same beanie, same reasonable car. The whole fortune is invisible, sitting in an account, quietly rearranging what you're allowed to be afraid of. $1 million. And then, one ordinary day, you log in for no particular reason, and the number has a comma in a place it's never had one. $1 million. You wait for the fireworks, for the version of this moment they sell you in the movies. And what you actually feel is quiet. A deep, almost anticlimactic quiet. Because you didn't arrive here in a day. You arrived one boring transfer at a time, and you'd already felt every inch of it. Here's the truth about the million that the lottery winners never get to learn. The number was never the point. The point was who you had to become to reach it. The lottery hands you the number and skips the becoming, which is exactly why it runs back out of their hands. You can't keep a fortune you didn't grow the hands to hold. You do the thing you promised yourself at zero all those years ago, eating cereal in the dark. Absolutely nothing changes overnight. Same apartment, for now. Same car, same coffee. The million doesn't get spent. It gets a job. It goes to work making more of itself. And you go to bed the same person in a much quieter world. What actually changed is the size of the bad news you can absorb. At zero, a tire could take you down. Now, whole disasters arrive, do their worst, and break against you like water on a rock. You didn't get lucky. You didn't get a windfall. You got a wall, and you built it yourself, one brick you couldn't really afford at a time. And the fun friend, the one with the new phone all those years ago, earns roughly what you earn to this doll. You've never said the number out loud to him. Not out of pride. It's just that the gap between your lives can't be explained in a sentence. And the true explanation is so boring that no one who needs to hear it ever believes it. So here it is, the whole secret. And it will disappoint you. You save a little, automatically, every single time money comes in. You don't touch it. You let boredom and time do the part that feels like magic. That's it. That's the entire trick that separates the quiet Wednesday on the highway from the sick feeling in the mechanic's garage. Because money doesn't make you happy. You already know that. Everyone says it. But here's the part they leave off. The lack of it can absolutely make you miserable. And the presence of enough of it buys back a very specific thing. It buys the silence where the fear used to be. And a life with that silence in it is a different life. Quieter, slower, yours. If you're standing at 0 right now, eating your version of the cereal, hearing your version of the background noise, you are not behind. You are exactly where every single person on this staircase once stood. The only thing that ever mattered was the next small, boring, almost embarrassing decision to keep $1 instead of spending it. Make that one. The quiet is real, and it's climbable, and it starts tonight.